The conference room went quiet before I did. Not the polite kind of quiet, the kind that presses against your eardrums until you hear your own pulse betray you. My wife didn't look at me when she spoke. Her eyes stayed on the table, on the thin stack of papers she'd already signed. "Effective immediately," she said, voice steady, rehearsed. "Your employment with the company is terminated." No explanation, no warning, no vote. Across the table, her secretary, him, sat perfectly still, hands folded, lips neutral, a ghost pretending to be furniture. I felt something shift inside me. Not anger, not yet. Recognition. The room smelled like polished wood and quiet decisions. I noticed how the others avoided my eyes, how quickly they gathered their things, how efficiently they erased me. When I finally stood, the chair scraped too loud against the floor. My wife flinched, just slightly. That's when I knew this wasn't business. This was personal. The argument from that morning replayed in fragments. His name in her phone, unlocked, unhidden, saved without shame. I hadn't yelled. I never do. I'd only asked why her secretary knew our anniversary date. She laughed. Too fast. Said I was paranoid. Now I was unemployed. Replaced. By him. As security walked me out, eyes apologetic. Steps rehearsed. I caught his reflection in the glass wall. He finally looked at me then. No triumph, no guilt, just patience. Like someone waiting for a seat to warm. I drove until the city thinned and the noise died. The gym was empty. Midnight metal and mirrors. I punished my body because it was the only thing still under my control. Each rep slowed my thoughts. Each breath buried the questions. Then I heard the tires. A low engine, expensive, unhurried. A black car rolled into the lot like it owned the night. The door opened. A man stepped out, older, tailored calm, eyes that had seen people fall without blinking. He didn't introduce himself. He leaned in close enough that I smelled his cologne, clean, sharp, and whispered, "Trust me. They'll regret this." Then he left. No card, no explanation, just certainty. I didn't confront her. That's what she expected. Instead, I watched. I noticed how she stopped deleting messages, how she didn't bother hiding the late nights anymore, how his car replaced mine in our driveway when I started sleeping at a hotel. I pulled phone records, email metadata, calendar overlaps. Patterns don't lie. People do. I ordered a background check on him. Deep, expensive, quiet. What came back wasn't impressive. It was familiar. He'd done this before. Different company, different woman, same arc. Promotion through proximity. Intimacy disguised as loyalty. He didn't build things. He replaced them. I stayed calm. Outwardly, I was defeated. Inside, I was assembling something precise. Then the numbers arrived. Transactions routed through shell accounts. Consulting fees paid to a firm she didn't know she owned. My firm, the one I'd quietly set up years ago when I suspected this day might come. The man from the parking lot made sense now. He wasn't a savior. He was an investor. I waited for the board review. When it came, I attended as a guest. Invited, unexpected. I slid the folder across the table without speaking. Bank statements. Compliance violations. A conflict of interest report so clean it felt surgical. My wife's hands shook as she flipped through the pages. She looked at him. He looked at the floor. For the first time since I'd known him, he wasn't patient. "This isn't what it looks like," she said. I nodded. "I know," I replied. "It's worse." The room filled with the sound of breathing people pretending they weren't afraid. She tried to speak again. I stood before she could. "I'm not here to reclaim my position," I said softly. "I already sold my shares." That landed. Her eyes widened. The color drained from her face. "To who?" someone asked. I smiled, just once. He cried in the hallway, not loud. Contained. The way men cry when they realize the ladder they climbed was leaning against nothing. Security escorted him out. No severance, no references. My wife didn't follow. She stayed seated, frozen. Later, in our empty house, she asked if we could talk. I told her we already had. She said she was confused, that she'd felt lonely. That power changed people. I listened. I always do. Then I told her I'd moved the remaining assets, that the prenup she'd insisted on worked both ways, that the company would survive. Our marriage wouldn't. She didn't scream. She didn't beg. She just stared at me like she was finally seeing a stranger. She was right. I left before dawn. No note, no closure speech. Some endings don't need witnesses. Weeks later, I saw the headline: Regulatory Investigation. Board Restructuring. A familiar name quietly removed. The car from the parking lot never returned my calls. It didn't need to. I understood the lesson. Power doesn't announce itself. It waits. And when it moves, it doesn't rage. It replaces.